All right, ladies, I am excited to be here. Welcome to your very first stretch of your very first month. I'm so excited that this program is live. I'm gonna take you through a 5 to 6 minute lower body warm-up together. You can follow along with me. You can get a handle of the movements on your own first, and then you can run through them. I'm going to attach other video demonstrations of the movements right below this in very short form as well, so that, you know, if you don't wanna follow along, I totally get it, that's no problem. First, we're gonna start with some very easy hip circles. We wanna keep this warm-up, and most warm-ups before a workout, we wanna keep them pretty active. So what that means is instead of just doing like really passive stretching where you're kind of like hanging out in a position, we want to keep the body moving, and we want to start to create some blood flow into the joints, and that's really going to help you prepare for the movements coming up. So you're gonna get onto hands and knees. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do hip circles. We're gonna go knee up, out, and then down and back in, up, out, and then down and back in. We're gonna do 10 on each side. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh yeah, you hear that click in my hip? Wonderful. I already lost count. It's not a forte of mine. We're gonna do one more and call that a day. And let's do other side. Up, out, and in. One might feel better than the other. My right hip always feels better than the other. My left hip feels like it's probably 50 years older than it actually is. And that someone's poured cement into it. And that's all right. This is why we warm up. Seriously, don't know how to count. Let's do 2 more. While we're doing this last one, I'm gonna move on to my next stretch. Okay, we're gonna move into 90-90 stretches. Okay, this one can be somewhat tricky for some people, depending on your hip mobility. But the point here is to work through a range of motion with your ankles, your knees, and your hips at 90 degrees. So if I were to take this camera and I were to put it right above me, my ankles would be at 90 degrees, my hips would be at 90 degrees, and my knees would be at 90 degrees. Now to make this movement easier, we can always lean back and put more support on our hands. To make it harder, you're going to take the hands away and you're going to keep the chest as upright as possible. So I'm gonna show you a harder variation. We're gonna do 5 of these, by the way. 6, that makes more sense. 3 on each side. Keeping my chest up, we're going to rotate to the other side and then face my chest that way. Let's do another one. Face my chest that way. Nice and slow, working through the full range. If you're like me, your butt might continue to scooch forward. Gotta go back. 2 more. And again, if you need to, bring the hands back. And just really work on opening up the hips this way. We're gonna move on to our hamstring stretch. You can also call this a runner stretch. So we're gonna get back into that plank position, and this time we're gonna bring one foot up outside our hand. Get it as high as you possibly can, and I also want you to think flat foot on the ground. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna shift my hips back, and I'm gonna have that toe pointing towards the ceiling, and I'm going to stay engaged here. So think core engaged. I'm not just hanging out here, all right? Keep the core engaged, keep the toe pointed up towards the ceiling, and think about pulling that toe like towards you. Okay, you're gonna feel a really good stretch in the back of the knee and the hamstring, and then from here, we're actually gonna rock it out. Forward, back, forward, back. 2 more, 3 more. I'm gonna do 5. 2 more. Back, pull that toe back. Last one, pull that toe back, and let's go ahead and switch sides. We're gonna start in that deep lunge. We're gonna rock it back, pull that toe forward, and pull it back. 1, 2. Oh yeah, my knee's cracking. Feeling good. Let's do 2 more. I don't know if you hear that, but it's probably best if you don't. Beauty. Okay, we're gonna get up onto the feet and we're gonna bring it up to a standing position. We're gonna do some leg swings. So I want you to find an upright, whether it's like a wall, a post, a pillar, or something. You're gonna hang on to that upright and we're going to start to kick the legs back and forward. And this is gonna really get the hips opening up. Try and tap that toe in front of you if you can, keeping the leg relatively straight, working through your own personal range of motion. So if it looks like this, that's totally cool. If you feel like that stretch is in the hips on the way back and in the hamstrings on the way forward, that's what we're looking for, right? If you can increase that range and really get a high kick, go for it. This is your warm-up. And let's go ahead and switch sides, kick forward and back. I'm getting really into this warm-up. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna finish off this first round with jumping jacks. We wanna get that heart rate elevated. We wanna get the blood flowing, like I said, and there's no such thing as a warm-up if you don't get warm. So we're gonna 1, nice job, ladies. What I want you to do is I want you to take that round. I want you to do it all over again on your own. Make sure that you're feeling primed, prepped, and ready to go before you crush your workout. Enjoy.